Do you really believe Halloween was just fiction? Something written to scare teenagers in dark theaters? Because what I uncovered suggests something far worse. What if I told you that behind Michael Myers' mask isn't imagination, but a truth buried so deeply that even Hollywood was forced to soften it? A truth soaked in blood, in cults, in disappearances, in a child whose eyes were already empty long before he ever wore a mask. It began in 1962 in Russellville, Illinois. Police were called to a quiet suburban home after neighbors complained of a smell, metallic, heavy, wrong. Inside, they found an entire family slaughtered, not one survivor. Not one sign of mercy. The strangest detail wasn't the brutality, it was the silence. The doors were locked, the windows intact, no signs of forced entry. And yet, in the backyard, they found a 6-year-old boy. His name was William Thorne. He stood barefoot in the grass, soaked in drying blood, gripping a butcher knife far too large for his hands. He wasn't crying, he wasn't shaking. He didn't even seem present. His eyes stared straight through the officers as if he was looking at something only he could see. When asked what happened, William finally spoke. "The man in the mirror told me to." The words echoed through the station long after he said them. Officers would later admit the tone of his voice haunted them more than the crime scene itself. There wasn't enough evidence to charge him. Instead, William was sent to St. Marcus Psychiatric Clinic, a place whispered about, feared even by staff. For years, William never spoke again. He only drew. Always the same image. A blank face, a white mask, no eyes. Doctors believed it was symbolic. They were wrong. In 1969, psychiatrist Leonard Mathies took over the case. He studied William obsessively, cataloging his drawings, searching for patterns. Months passed in silence until one October night, William finally spoke again. "When the moon bleeds, he will return." Hours later, the psychiatric wing erupted in flames. William survived. Not a burn, not a scratch. Dr. Mathies was found dead, his body charred, his skull crushed. The report ruled it an accident, but firefighters swore the fire started inside William's room, a room with no electricity. No lighter was ever found. William was moved to maximum security. 2 years later, his records were abruptly closed. Cause of death? Cardiac arrest. No body photos, no autopsy, just a rushed, scribbled death certificate. William Thorne disappeared. Years later, in a flea market in Haddonfield, a young screenwriter named John Carpenter stumbled upon an old diary. It belonged to Dr. Mathies. Inside were accounts of William, the voices he heard, and a cult called the Order of Samhain, a group believed to use children as vessels for ancient entities. Carpenter never told anyone the source. Instead, he created Michael Myers, a silent killer, a white mask, empty eyes. But he wasn't inventing a monster. He was documenting one. During the filming of Halloween in 1978, strange things began happening. Lights flickered, equipment failed. An actress claimed she saw a man standing motionless at the back of the studio, watching. Then someone died. Electrician Mark Daniels was found in Warehouse 3, hanging by his wrists, eyes gouged out. Written in blood on the wall beside him was a single word: Samhain. The studio called it suicide. No one could explain how.
Carpenter began waking every night at 3:33 a.m., dreaming of a boy staring at him. Once he woke with claw-like scratches across his chest. A medium was called. She said the energy there was older than evil itself and left in terror. Carpenter rushed to finish the film. He said he needed to close the cycle. The film became a phenomenon, but behind the scenes, people began dying. The editor died in a bizarre film reel accident, his final scream accidentally recorded. Others vanished. Some left the industry. Others broke down publicly. Jamie Lee Curtis later admitted she never felt alone on set. In the 1980s, journalist Claire Hensley investigated the film's origins. She tracked down St. Marcus Clinic, abandoned but not empty. Inside were walls covered in symbols. In the basement, dozens of white masks. A restraint chair scratched with human fingernail marks. On the wall, he never left. He's just waiting for the next Halloween. Claire disappeared before her report aired. Her car was found burned. The tapes vanished. In 2007, a Michael Myers cosplayer stood motionless at Comic-Con for 6 hours. When security approached, he fled. One guard was later found dead. The knife was never recovered. The man was never identified. Patterns began to emerge. Every death, every disappearance. October, after the 13th. Occult scholars claim Michael Myers is a modern archetype, the Veil Keeper, an entity that crosses worlds using human vessels. A former nurse from St. Marcus said William knew who would die before.
It happened. Sometimes he spoke in languages no one recognized. She disappeared 2 months after speaking out. In 2022, urban legend hunters broke into the old Russellville clinic. One member, Josh, vanished. His camera was found still recording. The footage shows him whispering, "There's someone here with me." Bare feet approach, heavy breathing, a whisper. He's awake. The tape melts from the inside. So ask yourself this: are you watching Halloween? Or is it watching you? Because recognition is an invitation, and he only needs one glance to know you're ready.